story now on the Pahalgam terror attack and a national investigation team taking over its investigation. We are joined by Major General Dhruv C. Katoch, Director, India Foundation. Welcome, sir, to the program. So, NIA teams are searching for evidence at the Pahalgam terror attack site. What kind of evidence will the investigators be looking for, and what might that evidence reveal?
Thank you, Tanvi. Tanvi, I think one of the things which they would like to do is to find out the local intelligence. Who are the people at the ground level who were assisting these people? That is one. Number two will be the weapons which are used by the terrorists. And number three is going to be, and I think this is going to be the most significant, that will be signal intelligence. Whom did these people communicate with prior to the attack, during the attack, and post the attack? And as of now, linkages point towards Pakistan, but the NIA will get absolute proof, which will be to the extent that it can stand up in a court of law. So, to that extent, I've got absolutely no doubts that the direction and the thrust of the NIA will be on these three issues.
Okay, on a general plane, sir, what kind of evidence, electronic, weapon-related, financial and so on, do investigators look for against terrorists and to establish who their sponsors are?
Well, I think in this particular case, when we are looking at the electronic intelligence, it will be with whom they communicated with. And the evidence so far indicates that their handlers were actually inside Pakistan. So that is one bit of the evidence. Number two, the person whom they were in contact with in Pakistan, based on voice recognition and other software which is available, you can actually identify who that person is, because we have records of various people within Pakistan and their voice, etc., and their matching. So that is something which will give the direct link to which will give the direct Pakistani link. But locally, I think it is important to understand that it is equally important that an attack of this nature could not have been carried out without the local people or some elements in the local community supporting them. In this case, there will be amongst the pony fellows, there will be somebody, then the handlers of those ponies, there will be somebody on top of them, and perhaps somebody on top of that too. So the linkages can go very high as far as the Indian establishment is concerned, and it could there could very well be a local political figure or somebody in the administration who is also involved and who was in the know of things as to what exactly is happening. So I think that a lot of questioning will take place of the people there, and that will lead to further evidence. And then on questioning them, the web will keep getting opened and opened till finally we come down to what the truth is. But these two, I think, are going to be, as of now, the prime lines of investigation.
Okay. Turning to the broad options India has for striking back against the terrorists and their sponsors from across the border, India has already taken steps like suspending the Indus Water Treaty. Should the treaty now also be abrogated altogether? And are there any other significant retaliatory economic steps that India could take against Pakistan?
Well, you see, as far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned, the wording which has been used is till such time as Pakistan continues to sponsor terrorism. I don't see the Pakistani state changing changing this particular policy of theirs of bleeding India with 1,000 cuts. So the question is that as Pakistan is not going to stop terrorism, this treaty in effect stands abrogated. Later on, if the situation changes, I think the Indian government is well within its rights to totally abrogate it and and to be done and dusted. That is one. Other economic measures. Now, economic measures are multifaceted. Many things can be done as far as Pakistan is concerned. Now, one of the things is trade between India and Pakistan is not there, so that is really not an option. We don't trade with them. Whatever little bit of trade is there is minuscule, and it doesn't impact India. It may impact Pakistan. As far as India is concerned, Pakistan is not relevant economically. But there are other ways should India really desire to, if we can do it. One, can we exert our influence with the United States to delay the IMF loan which Pakistan is to get? They are already in very severe economic crisis, and if they do not get the IMF loans as per their time schedule, I think they are in very serious trouble. Number two, Pakistan has got various trading partners. They export certain items to various places. I think should the Indian government so desire, we can export those same items. We can cut price, You cut the price by a little bit, export to them, and then Pakistan is left with a host of material which they can't sell abroad when they are desperately short of foreign exchange. There are many other measures which I think economists can go into, but the economic, using the economic issue to further put pressure on Pakistan is well within the ambit as far as the Indian government is concerned.
Okay. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has declared that India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers beyond their imagination. A word on that promise, sir.
You want me to comment on that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, these terrorists, very frankly, Tanvi, these 4 or 5 chappies who carried it out, they are minor pawns. They are totally expendable. They will be found, if not today, tomorrow, if not tomorrow at some point of time, and they will be eliminated. The key is really to get the people who sponsored them at the highest level. And as the investigations are showing, this appears to be a plot which was hatched with the infamous ISI, their intelligence services. Now, if it is the ISI, an operation of this magnitude could not have been done without the support and the tactical and the specific approval of the DG ISI, General Asim Malik. That is one. Asim Malik on his own couldn't have taken this risk. He had to get the support of his army chief, Asim Munir. So General Asim Munir is the second person whom I would actually, whom we need to pin down. And Asim Munir being, regardless of the fact that the Pakistan military controls the shots in Pakistan, in this particular case, he would have briefed the Prime Minister also, Shehbaz Sharif. I think all three are the ultimate people whom we need to get. At the highest level in Pakistan, the people who perpetrated this tragedy and who orchestrated it or who ordered it. After that, it goes down the chain. Those chains, there are smaller and smaller people which come down within the Pakistani establishment. And I fear within the Indian system too, there could be somebody, especially someone in the political hierarchy, whom they were in touch with, as far as the Pakistanis are concerned. I believe over a period of time, the NIA will be able to get to the truth of the matter and give specific proof as to these people. Now, if we can actually nail it down that it was the ISI hand in there, then I think it is incumbent on the part of the government of India to take these 3 people, their Prime Minister, their Chief of Army Staff and the DG ISI to the International Court and have them tried for war crimes.
Okay, on the political front, sir, is there something more that India could do or might already be doing to isolate Pakistan? A word also on the erstwhile strong supporters of Pakistan in West Asia who seem to be quite tired of Pakistan's nefarious activities. Can India elicit greater support from these quarters, and what could that support be actually?
I think, as far as Pakistan is concerned, over the last 10 years, Pakistan has been isolated on the world stage, which goes to the credit of India's foreign policy and, of course, the personal involvement of the Prime Minister in progressing that, along with the 2 external affairs ministers from the first BJP tenure. That is one. Now, there are countries which will continue to support Pakistan regardless of what our diplomats do. One of them is Turkey and the second is China. China has got very strong strategic links with Pakistan. They use Pakistan really to keep India confined to South Asia. They are not going to change their spots. But the Chinese support will in my view, will be restricted to simply trying to tell the world community that the Pakistani government and establishment is not responsible. The Chinese have condemned the attack, but they have tried to water down, or they have actually watered down the UNSC resolution to some extent. But they will try, from their side, they will try to protect Pakistan. Turkey will certainly protect Pakistan, whatever they can do. But besides that, I don't think there is any other country in the world which is going to put political capital into trying to protect this rogue state, especially the Muslim world in West Asia. When you look at the entire gamut from Saudi Arabia to Iran to all the other countries of West Asia, the level of support to Pakistan is just not there. In fact, everybody's got tired of the issue. So I don't think Pakistan is going to has got any political capital in any of the Muslim countries. That is the first thing. Number two, as far as Europe is concerned, Europe has got enough problems of its own to worry about looking into Pakistan's affairs, because Islamic terror is also a problem of the European countries. It's also a problem of the United States. I think the only thing which the European countries will be looking at, including the United States, is they don't want Pakistan to fail completely, because Pakistan owes a great deal of money to a great deal of people. And if they fail, then their money goes with it. So to that extent, they would like Pakistan to remain an actor in the stage, at least till such time as they can pay back their debts. But beyond that, I see no country in the world which is giving political capital to Pakistan as of now.
Some years ago, sir, the United States had taken the lead in putting Pakistan on the grey list of the global money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog, the FATF, Financial Action Task Force, which put big economic pressure on Pakistan and for a time contained its sponsorship of terror. Could similar action possibly be taken against Pakistan this time?
I think if he can actually prove this linkage conclusively at the world stage, Pakistan will never accept, despite the proof we give them, but the world will be more receptive to proof. And I think if he can give them the electronic signatures which go down to Pakistan, the world will accept it, and we can put Pakistan back onto the grey list, if not the black list. Okay, but certainly, I think we can put them back on the FATF grey list.
Okay, and from another perspective, could India elicit the support of its regional and global strategic partners to pressure Pakistan to give up its policy of proxy wars? Could something be done in that direction?
Very frankly, I don't think the world we can get the world to change Pakistan's ideology. That will have to be done by India itself. It is our job, and I don't think we are actually looking at world powers to force Pakistan to change their behavior. That has to be a policy. That has to be an aspect of India's foreign and domestic policy, by which the cost to Pakistan has to be made very, very severe. I think one of the steps which has been taken by the government of India, this revocation of the Indus Water Treaty, is a vital step in that direction. Regardless of the fact that as of now we are not in a position to really make a meaningful impact on the Indus waters, I think within 6 months to 1 year we will be able to do a great deal. And within 5 to 10 years, we will be able to do a much, much more. So that is one leverage which we can have. But ultimately, some time or the other, there may have to be the military option which may have to be exercised. And the Prime Minister has already given an indication that the people who have perpetrated this and their supporters will be punished. How that takes shape, the future will tell. But in my own view, I think something like that is on the offing. And perhaps that may force Pakistan, or especially the Pakistani military and political leadership, to change their stance and to stop using terror as an instrument of their foreign policy.
Stop using terror as a foreign policy tool. Thank you very much, Major General Dhruv C. Katoch, for joining us on DD India News Hour and giving us your valuable insight.